Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are on your debt-free journey and feeling unmotivated lately, then this video is for you. I've been on my debt-free journey since June of 2018 and even a little bit before that, but that's when I officially started my debt-free journey. So it's been almost 3 years. Obviously, I still have debt. I still need to focus on paying that off, and it can get pretty exhausting. During your debt-free journey, you're typically sacrificing a lot of things. You're putting the bulk of your extra money to your debt. You are having to save money, not able to buy certain things or enjoy things that you would probably buy or do if you didn't have the debt. And depending on where you are on your journey, you may start to feel this heaviness or frustration or stress or anger with your debt. And so I wanted to offer a few tips for how to stay motivated on your debt-free journey, because it may take you a couple of years, it may take you a few years, and you may be a few months into this, or you may be a couple of years already into it. And so I completely empathize with you. I completely understand where you're coming from, because I am on my own debt-free journey and there are so many ups and downs. There are many times where you want to give up, or you just feel like the end result is so far away. But staying motivated and staying focused is really important, because that's going to help you become debt-free sooner, and you're going to make better decisions along the way and just feel better about your finances overall. So I'm going to share with you a few tips for how to stay motivated on your debt-free journey, and comment down below if you would add anything to this. The first thing is to create a few debt-free trackers. I absolutely love debt trackers. I actually have 4 of them. And the reason I have multiple is for a couple of reasons. So the first thing is that they're constantly around me, and I talk about them very often, but there's one right here in my living room. I have one on my fridge, and then I keep a couple in my notebook that I open every single day. And that is very important, because when you're surrounded by something, you are thinking about it more and just reminding yourself to focus on it and revisiting that goal multiple times, which I find very helpful. The second thing is that you get to color in those debt-free trackers, or fill them in depending on what type of tracker you have. And if you have multiple, you get to do that multiple times. And so if you're making progress every week or every month, then you typically would only have one debt-free tracker, and then you're just coloring that in once. But if you have multiple with different styles, then you get to log that on different trackers, which I find very satisfying. I think it's fun to color in the little boxes or to fill in my thermometer. And so there are many options out there for debt-free trackers, and I do think it helps me to stay motivated. Debt trackers are such a good visual. You get to see your progress, you get to see how far you've come, and for me, that is very good. So I do encourage you to at least have one debt-free tracker, but having multiple is a serious game changer. I will put a link down below to some free debt trackers. These are not mine. These are just really cool ones that I have found, and they are completely free for you to print out, or you can create your own like I do in my bullet journal. My second tip is to visualize your future. Now, when I think about paying off my debt, that last debt payment, I literally will get emotional. I will start to tear up just thinking about being debt-free, just thinking about making that debt payment. I can literally see the whole thing unfolding, like me pushing the button to pay off that final debt, me feeling like overcome with emotion and just so excited for what's to come in the future. And I literally see that in my mind. And I think this is because I have such a strong why, and I know that this is really important to me, so I'm able to connect my emotion to it, and I'm able to live now for my future. And this is definitely something that I apply in all areas of my life. So I like to do things now that will benefit my future. So that's going to be taking care of my health, paying attention to what I eat, getting regular exercise. That's going to be implementing positive habits, and of course that's going to be making wise financial decisions now, so that I can be debt-free sooner, so that I can start investing sooner, so that I can buy a house, I can live out my financial freedom dreams that I have in my mind. That really helps me to stay focused and just to stay motivated, and I know I'm gonna be so excited at the end of this. I know that it will get here, and that really keeps me going. So some important questions for you to reflect on, if that's something that you struggle with, is to think about, what do you want your financial future to look like? I would suggest writing this down. I would suggest visualizing this. What type of house do you want? How much money do you want to be investing? How much do you want to have saved by a certain age? And just kind of set these goals or milestones in your future that you can start working on now. Another question is, what will it look like, or what will it feel like to be debt-free? And I know that all of this money that I have been putting to my debt every month will then get to be invested, or I can use it for whatever I want because I won't owe people money. And things like that really help me to make those important financial decisions. You know, if you're faced with paying off debt versus spending, I'm typically going to choose paying off debt because I see that in my future. My third tip for staying motivated is to create a platform or join a community. Creating this YouTube channel is literally one of the best decisions of my life, and I'm so grateful that I did. I know back in 2019, before I started this, I was contemplating it. I remember talking about it, and I was unsure of whether or not I was going to do it because I had another channel, I had another blog, and this would mean I had to create more content exclusively for my finance channel. And I'm so glad I did it, because now I've created this debt-free community here on YouTube. You guys are so supportive, you guys are so friendly, and it keeps me motivated. You guys watching me, knowing that I have an audience, expecting me to pay off debt and wanting me to succeed in my debt-free journey is very inspiring. I also want to be an example for the people that are watching me. So when I am faced with a decision, I really want to think about the people who are watching me. I want to show people that it's possible to pay off debt in situations that I am in. It is possible to save your money even though you really want to go shopping. It's possible to pay off your debt much faster than the loan says it will take. So it's kind of like a double whammy for me. There's you guys that are watching me and motivating me, and then I also want to be an example to this community. So you as well could start your debt-free journey on a YouTube channel, or you could create an Instagram or a Twitter if you want to keep it more anonymous. There are YouTube channels that don't show their face whatsoever. They just share their numbers. They don't share their identity. So you could do that on any of those platforms. But even if you didn't want to do that, you could follow these people. So of course, if you're subscribed to this channel, then you're already doing that. You probably are subscribed to multiple people on their debt-free journey. But if you're on Instagram, be sure to follow hashtags that are relevant to what you're doing. So hashtag debt-free community, hashtag debt-free journey, hashtag budget. All these things will keep popping up on your feed and remind you to stay on track, and will definitely help with your motivation. I know that I do that as well. I follow a lot of people on here that are on their debt-free journey, and seeing other people make progress and pay off their debt is super motivating as well. My fourth tip is to join us on Transfer Tuesdays. So Transfer Tuesday, if you're not familiar with it, was created by Mary from Pennies Not Perfection here on YouTube. I'll put her channel down below. And I didn't start Transfer Tuesdays until November of 2020. And the reason I was putting this off for so long is that I didn't realize, or it didn't register in my mind that I could break up my payments, my debt payments, into weekly chunks so that I'm making progress weekly. So before Transfer Tuesday, what I was doing was making 1 or 2 large payments toward my debt. And so mentally, it felt like so long between those debt payments. It felt like my progress was super slow. And then somebody encouraged me to start the Transfer Tuesday, and I started, and I have not felt that way since. So I started paying a little bit of debt every single Tuesday. Before the month starts, I determine how much I can allocate to my debt from my full-time job, and then I divide that by 4 or 5, however many Tuesdays are in the month, and then I transfer at least that every single Tuesday. And typically I'm transferring more than Tuesdays. So if I get a small payment from a cash back app or from a credit card reward program and it's $25, I'll put that toward my debt, and it's a Thursday, it's a Saturday, whatever it is, and then I report it to you guys on my Transfer Tuesday videos, and then make that additional payment on Tuesdays. So now I'm constantly making progress, and I swear it has been a game changer. I have not felt negative about my debt-free journey at all since starting this, which is huge for me. Typically, I'm going up and down every single month, and now I feel like I'm constantly making progress, and this has been the best thing for my money mindset. So I highly encourage you to start. You don't need to be putting $200, $300 to your debt every single week. Even if you can just spare $2 or $5 to transfer, I highly encourage you to join us because it's going to feel like you're making more progress more consistently, and it is very helpful. My next tip is to listen to or watch other people on their debt-free journey. I touched on this a little bit on my other tip, but I know when I was first starting my journey, something that was really motivating to me were the debt-free screams on Dave Ramsey's show. And I talk about this a lot, but I don't really stick to Dave Ramsey's plan or anything like that, but his content is still good, and those debt-free screams are still very amazing to listen to. And I remember just feeling super motivated and inspired by hearing the progress that they made in such a short amount of time, or the things that they sacrificed, and just being able to hear these debt-free screams that people similar to me were able to accomplish, and I knew that I could do it too. It gave me hope for paying off my debt in that amount of time as well, and I still do this to this day. So it may not be the debt-free screams, but I will watch people on YouTube who have paid off a large amount of debt, or people who are on their debt-free journey. And for me, that's very inspiring because just having somebody to relate to, and I'm also glad that I'm on this platform to be that for other people. It's very encouraging to find other people on a similar path to you because they truly understand how difficult this can be. And there are so many people now, and that's what's great about it, is that people are documenting their journey more often. People are getting more comfortable about talking about money, and that debt is not a good thing. And I love that. It's a positive change. I absolutely love to see it, and watching other people make progress on their debt is motivating to me. My final tip is to celebrate your small wins. Depending on your total debt and what your debt is made up of, you will probably have multiple milestones throughout that journey. So you can determine what those milestones are. I know for myself, it was different types of debt. So getting out of credit card debt, getting out of car debt, and then I have multiple student loans I'll need to pay off. So each of those can be a different milestone, or a milestone could look more like, you know, your first 5,000 paid off, your next 5,000 paid off. But I think it's important to determine those and then be sure that you celebrate all of your little accomplishments. Basically, what I mean by this is to give yourself credit and to recognize that you have been making progress and you're doing such a great job. And I don't necessarily mean for you to reward yourself financially. Don't go out and go shopping, or don't spend a lot of your money because you've reached a milestone. I mean, I'm sure some people do that and that works for them. That's okay too if you wanted to do that. Personally, I prefer not to spend money to celebrate because I feel like that's, it just depends on the situation. But it could be something small, like maybe you're gonna take the day off and relax after you've reached that milestone, or you're gonna go out for a nice dinner or cook a really nice dinner. You're gonna read a good book or grab a coffee. Just do something that makes you feel good and feels rewarding to you. I'm a very simple person, so I find happiness in very small things, and just little things like that are enough for me. But I also make sure to keep track of my accomplishments. I actually, every single week, I write down my accomplishments for that week. I always make sure to include my financial wins as well. The reason for this is because when you're on your debt-free journey, oftentimes we're just focused on the end and we don't realize how far we have come. And this is for a lot of things in life, but if you've only paid off 20% of your debt, you're looking at, I still have 80% to go, or you still have X amount to go. But look back and recognize that you have made a good bit of progress, and make sure you're really proud of that. And I find it to be more motivating that way, because then you're looking at the positive side of it and not the negative. Those are my main tips for staying motivated on your debt-free journey. I know it is not easy. Trust me, I am on this path too, and it has been a huge roller coaster, but these things have really helped me throughout this. It is very important for us to stay focused so that we can get through this in a more positive way and get there sooner. Comment down below what keeps you motivated on your debt-free journey. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support. As always, I will see you in my next video.